I watched, by the way, speaking of demons, I went and saw Nosferatu last night, and I won't give any spoilers or anything, but I think I didn't like it, and I think for the majority of it, I kept thinking it was really stupid. And I think part of the problem was I've seen... What was it? The guy that is the main actor in Nosferatu, who also was from Skins, he was in Renfield, which also had Nicolas Cage in it, which was also a vampire film, which was also, like, basically the same setting of what happened to his character in that one. But that film was an outrageous comedy on purpose. And so I think my brain was like, yeah, Nicholas Hoult. My brain was like, oh, this film is funny. And like I'd seen some interviews with Bill Skarsgård, I think is his name, who played the clown from It, who plays Nosferatu in this. And he was doing, like, he changed the register of his voice to being very deep. And then he did a very, like, I guess, Romanian or something accent. But it was so, like, exaggerated almost that I was like, I felt like it was funny silly. Because he was talking like this, being scary. It was like this whole time. And I was like, I saw an interview where he talked about how he learned to do the accent in the and to change his voice to a different pitch. So I was thinking it's gonna be cool. But first of all, bitch looked like Heihachi. He had a mustache like my grandpa, and then he talked like that. And then we've got the guy who was the main character in a comedy, so I couldn't take it seriously, I guess. I did love the 10,000 Rats, because I have also seen a lot of interviews with Willem Dafoe who was in it. There was a ton of rats in it, and also a ton of cats. And Willem Dafoe was, in every interview I've seen him in, he's talking about the rats. So I was like, it's great. An old European. Well, it's good that they did that rendition of him, but I think because of, like, I just think I couldn't get into being scared of it. Because it was really unsettling from the start, but I think because of seeing Renfield, and that guy was in the same exact, like, because in Renfield, the guy is going to Dracula's castle to sell Dracula a house or something, right? And to get Dracula to sign it. And that's the same thing that happens in Nosferatu. So Nicholas Hoult was Renfield going to get Dracula to sign papers, and then it turned into an outrageous comedy and was really funny. And so when Nicholas Hoult was going to Nosferatu's mansion, and it was like the same exact thing, I think my brain couldn't switch it to being scary instead. And also, like, basically with this story, all vampire shit is kind of like horny, right? Because it's inherently like a sexual thing. But with this film, the girl is like basically groomed by Nosferatu into like a sexual relationship. And then, so a lot of it was just sexual, sexy sex, but also like weird, groomy, but like there was moments like in the first, like, I feel like the first minute or 30 seconds, which I guess this is kind of spoilers, but not really. I guess it's more spoilers for the movie. In like the first 30 seconds to a minute, the girl is dreaming and like having an orgasm, like, and it's like zoomed in on her like O face, and she's like moaning, and I was like, am I vampire right now? Where's my vampire? there is a penis in it. Um, there's a Nosferatu penis. It's a prosthetic. It is not Willem Dafoe, unfortunately. And then when Nosferatu is drinking someone's blood, in this film he's drinking it from their chest. And then while he's doing it, you see like he's like humping while he's doing it, and like you hear him gulping the blood in, and then it's like, you know how in cartoons when they have liquid go through a tube and you see the liquid like move through the tube in a way? So his body was doing that, like he was drinking the blood and like gyrating as if the blood was moving through him, and it was so humpy, like weird, like, because it's supposed to be sexual, I guess. But like the noise, the Foley for it was disgusting. And then it was just like a lot of sexy stuff. And then, spoilers, there's a moment where someone in the film dies, and then their partner opens their coffin back up and fucks their dead body. And then, like, I'm just gonna basically spoil it now because I don't know how keen you guys are on this, but like, the one girl is basically like possessed at times by Nosferatu or whatever. And so she's like, and he's like this old ass fucking like vampire man. So she's like talking to her husband, who's basically Renfield, and she's like, "You'll never fuck me like he does." And like the Nosferatu's not fucked her except for in her dreams, I guess, at this point. So she's like, "You'll never fuck me like he does." And then he's like, "Yeah, I will." So then they have this like really outrageous sex. Like, there's so much moaning, horny, coming sex in this film. In a way where I was like, it would happen and I would just like look like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? And like it's not supposed to be good horny, because the woman has been groomed from a young age basically by Nosferatu. The same director that did the Lighthouse movie. I guess so. Do not take a family member with you, especially the first 30 seconds to 1 minute, I believe, is someone coming. And then she keeps saying, "He is coming, he is coming." And I'm guessing, because sometimes this is lost on me, but I'm guessing that is supposed to be like a double entendre or something. Because she's talking about that he's going to arrive at the location. But also, I guess they fuck in her sleep or something. I don't know. And it was just, I don't know. The other thing was, I saw it at Everyman, which is a theater in Bristol, that's like up at the top of Park Street at White Ladies Road or something like that. Haha, very funny name for a British place, a British street. And the last couple of times I've been there, which that theater is great because they've got like basically it's this like big like couch seating, so you get to just chill on a sofa and watch the movie. But I think the last 2 times that I've been there, and then this time too, it's like it's been so fucking loud that I almost was going to complain afterwards, because like I don't know if I'm just also hypersensitive to loud ass noises, but it got so loud so many times that I had to cover my ears, and then also like Jetton, thanks for gifting a sub to Zdeffer. Not loud from people, the movie's volume was loud. And so, like, if I was anticipating something scary was going to happen, I would cover my ears because it was so loud. So I think that's the other reason why I couldn't, like, really get scared or anything, because it was unbelievably loud. And I was like, maybe I need to bring my headphones. And I thought this last time I went, too. I watched Barbenheimer there and was by a speaker. The bomb going off blew my right ear out. Yeah, it was like... This film has a lot of, like, suddenly loud noises for, like, jump scare and stuff. And also just, like, sort of like, what is it? Like a building crescendo of noises. And so between all of the weird horny sex coming fucking orgasm fuck, Nicholas Hoult being from Renfield, which is a comedy film, and then having my fucking ears blasted to hell by volume, I was like, I don't think I liked it. And it was just like, I'm gonna say what the ending is now, but basically at the end, the way that they defeat the vampire man is that Willem Dafoe's character is like this crackpot occult scientist guy. And he's like, the maiden has to allow him in. And so she had to consent to Nosferatu, because he's like, I will keep killing people until you consent to let me fuck you, is basically Nosferatu. And so she kept resisting him and people were dying, but she was still resisting him anyways, which forced consent is not consent. And then, so Willem Dafoe was like, you have to let him do it to end the curse and you'll save all of us. So basically, like, you need to sacrifice yourself. So they go to the castle to stop him, but meanwhile, Willem Dafoe knows that needs to happen, so he takes the woman's husband, Nicholas Hoult, with him to the castle so that the woman can have Nosferatu come to their house and fuck her so that it can end the curse. And so the guy leaves his wife at home, and then he goes to the castle, and then he's like, wait a second, he's not even here. There's just 1,000 rats. And then they go, basically what's happening while they're away is she waits there, Nosferatu shows up, and he's like, are you ready? And she's like, yeah. And so then they make out, and he's like nasty and old and disgusting looking. And like, he's got like she's running her hands on his back, and it's like got like boils and like decaying skin and all of this stuff. And then they go in the bed together, and she gets completely naked, and she lets him drink her blood from her breast, which is like, she kept saying like, kiss my heart or whatever. And so he's drinking her blood in the way that he drinks it, which is like gyrating like he's fucking, and she's moaning and stuff. And then he's like almost got all of her blood gone, and they keep saying like, by the first crow of the cock or whatever, if he isn't back in his tomb, then he'll die. And so basically she's supposed to distract him with sex so that he doesn't get home in time and then he dies. So basically she lets him drink her blood, and then the sun is coming up, and he's like looking at the sun like, I need to get home. And then the rooster starts crowing, and he's like, I really need to get home right now. He does not say that, of course, but he's like, and she's like, she pulls him towards her chest again, and she's like this, and she's like, basically every time he gets like, he's starting to look out the window like, oh shit, I'm late, she's like, no, come back to bed, basically. And then he ends up drinking all of her blood, And then he burns to a crisp and dies, and she dies too. And then the husband gets home, and Willem Dafoe and everyone, and they're like, she saved everyone, the Nosferatu curse is over forever, because she sacrificed herself. So she's dead as fuck, naked, in the bed. And then she's got the fucking corpse of Nosferatu on top of her body. And he's got, like, these fucking skeleton-ass legs. And he just looks absolutely so disgusting. And so I was like, so are you for real right now? Because basically, what I gather is that as a kid, her mom died, she was really lonely, and then she is sensitive to, like, ghosts and shit. And so she's like, I wish I had a friend. And Nosferatu was like, I'll be your friend. And she was like, okay, I'm really lonely. And then Nosferatu groomed her into having a sexual relationship. And then her dad found her naked and gyrating, maybe. And so her dad disowned her and was like, you're unclean. And then she married Nicholas Holt's character. And she stopped having dreams about Nosferatu until she started again. And then everyone was dying unless she had sex with him after being groomed and basically, like, forced into it. So there were good parts in the movie. The good parts were there was a bajillion rats. Willem Dafoe was great because I love him. Willem Dafoe's character also had a bunch of cats that were his buddies. And then the really hot guy from Bullet Train was in it. And his wife in the film is played by the same person who is a non-binary person who played the evil lady from Deadpool versus Wolverine. And so those were the cool things to me. And then I guess, is it Johnny Depp's daughter that's, like, the main person? She was pretty good, but I mean, if by pretty good, it's like that she just had to simulate being fucked and having orgasms all the time. Which I mean, like, if that's the acting direction that you need to have, and she also had to pretend to be possessed a lot in a very gross way and, like, having spit coming out of her mouth, then sure. I don't know. But yeah. And then the other thing, which Andy talked to me about this, was, so the guy, Nosferatu himself is, like, Romanian or something like that. And then they're supposed to be in Germany. So they're doing, like, they're like, Herr, fucking Johnson or whatever their last name is, or Frau blah blah blah, but they all have British accents. So I was like, I think also my immersion was ruined because I was like, why are these British people addressing each other with, like, German titles? So that was weird. But yeah.